This State of the Institute was presented on December 30th, 2021 during the Homecoming Voyage. Join us a few minutes into the presentation.
Since Japan, their very first international port, this group of Voyagers, students, lifelong learners, faculty, and Voyage leadership team members, had confronted a series of unplanned and unexpected changes, and of course, very long periods on sea, on ship. Again, maybe that's why we do call it semester at sea. As I stood on the stage for about 2.5 hours, understandably, I heard anger, disappointment, and frustration. Very understandable. At that time, in March of 2020, we could not have predicted what was about to unfold around the world. In fact, the told and untold losses that the world has suffered as a consequence of the COVID-19 pandemic weigh heavy on all of us, on me, on all of us, as we truly embrace our global community, the humanity of the global community. At the Institute, the challenges have been very significant. I get back to Fort Collins, Colorado, and the entire Institute team start planning the fall 2020 voyage. We innovated a hybrid voyage model with the voyage portion to start around middle of October. By early July, the pandemic, of course, in full force, we had to cancel that voyage. Then we began planning the spring 2021 voyage. Canceled. Of course, then we started up again, planning the fall 2021 voyage. Same result. Now, I'd like all of you to imagine what it's like for a group of people who are deeply mission committed to do everything possible to put together that next voyage and have it canceled. And then that next voyage and have it canceled. And next voyage and have it canceled. Deeply disappointing to that group of people who are so deeply committed. And deeply disappointing, of course, to all the voyagers who had committed to each of those voyages. To some degree, what is the wonder of Semester at Sea, in my mind, is that as we did outreach to the students, lifelong learners, faculty, and Voyage leadership team members and asked them if they had interest in transferring to a future voyage, a significant percent of those individuals transferred to the next voyage. That's a pretty brilliant proof of concept that so many did that. And one of the interesting benefits is that we have faculty and staff mostly hired for the next 3 voyages because of all that transfer. I can tell you personally, it is that mission commitment that has carried our staff through this time. We believe that Semester at Sea is, in fact, deeply important to the world. We believe that this program must persist. And my dear friend and mentor and amazing person in my life spoke to that so well today, that this program must persist. And we must find a way as an organization to persevere. And you are here tonight showing signs that we will persevere. And on January 5th, we will embark the spring 2022 Voyagers after a long hiatus, proving that perseverance has proven out to be our winning formula. There are 5 main reasons that we have been able to manage through this time. If you were able to attend the presentation earlier today by our Chief Financial Officer, Bobby Barber, he covered some of these, but it is worth going through them one more time. The first one is our savings accounts. The board and prior leadership at the Institute had the foresight to put money away for such occasions as a pandemic, even though, of course, we had no idea when one would come. We knew something would certainly come on the horizon. The Black Swan Fund, the Ship Reserve Fund, and our investment account. These three savings accounts, if you will, have been absolutely critical to allowing us to survive through this time. We keep in mind, of course, that the vast majority of those funds have been used. And over the next coming years, we must rebuild them. There will be another Black Swan type event in the future. We don't know when, we don't know how it will impact us, but there will be one. So we must rebuild the Black Swan Fund, which has been completely diminished. We must rebuild the Ship Reserve Fund, which is nearly completely diminished. And the investment account, of course, is being used up as well. So we have to commit to rebuilding those savings accounts. Second, overhead reductions. Over the course of this time period, we've made significant changes to our overhead. In fiscal year 21, those reductions saved us about $2.5 million, and in the current fiscal year, saving us a little over $1 million. This involved reducing our staff size, becoming what some call a leaner organization. Others would call it our staff that we have are working that much harder. Everyone took salary cuts. There are no retirement contributions anymore. And our staff took 1 month furloughs. It is hard, seriously, for me to express how much I deeply appreciate and respect these people who are with us on this voyage or back home supporting the preparation for spring 22. These people who put on this voyage and the next voyage. As I said in my opening remarks during the welcome ceremony, they have won my heart forever. And third, federal programs. So we were the beneficiaries of 2 Paycheck Protection Program loans, both of which transitioned into grants. We have also recently obtained what is called an emergency injury disaster loan. And over the course of this fiscal year, we will benefit from cost reduction through the payroll tax relief program. These federal programs have been absolutely essential for us getting through this last year and through this next year. Fourth, philanthropy. Our donors have stepped up. They have been phenomenal. Giving you just one indication, there is this term in the fundraising world called restricted gifts. Restricted gifts are those designated for a particular purpose, like some type of scholarship. And we have great, generous donors who have given us restricted gifts. Over the course of the last year and a half, over $1.2 million of restricted gifts have been unrestricted to allow us to use them for operating funds. That just shows you the generosity and support of our alumni and donors. And the last one I've already spoken to, of course, is our staff. There's a lot of words to describe this group. I have come up with my own. They are resilient. They are wickedly smart. They are wonderfully collaborative. They are mission committed. And I often think of them as magic makers. If you only could get a slice of the complexity of what it takes to put on this homecoming voyage and a long 3.5-month voyage, whatever it takes to just design it, not only deliver it. It's a phenomenally complex model, and there is a magic that has to occur to pull it off. There is only one semester at sea in the world. One of the reasons is because it's damn hard to do. And there's just a little bit of magic that makes it happen. Those are the 5 reasons that we have persevered through this time. Now, clicker. It is time now to focus on the future. The pandemic isn't over, it hasn't run its full course, but it's absolutely time to move out of this crisis and focus on what we want Semester at Sea to be in 5 years and 10 years and 15 years from now. Over the last few months, our staff and board have been involved in strategic planning. I know, maybe some of you have done strategic planning, you're like, oh God, not that. I can tell you, I have not heard a single one of those comments about our strategic planning process. It's been a very engaged, very enriching, and thoughtful process. It has helped us redefine what our mission is. And this is that reimagined mission for Semester at Sea. It is concise, it is compelling, and it is memorable. Journeys of discovery that spark bold solutions to global challenges. It's a clear, concise, compelling mission. Now, let me give you a sense of what is embodied in that mission. Journeys of discovery. That's 2 things, really. One, it is the voyage. It is that voyage experience. It's the community. It's the education. It's the multi-generational interaction. It is that voyage, but it is also an individual journey. What is your personal journey? As you approach embarkation, as you get on the ship, as you meet your cabin mate, as you meet your faculty members, as you meet the executive dean, the academic dean, your own personal journey that continues beyond the voyage. We have all of these communities of former voyages together on the ship now. Your journey of discovery continues. Spark bold solutions. Spark bold solutions. It's not that every voyage is going to go out and solve massive world problems, but because of the experience you're having on the voyage, you have the opportunity to think creatively like no one else does. To reimagine how the world can work in positive ways. And of course, global challenges. By going to different countries, by coming back and reflecting on that as a community, you have a sense of global challenges truly like very few other people in the world have. Journeys of discovery that spark bold solutions to global challenges. That is the reimagined mission. I love it. I hope that if you don't right now, you will soon. The next outcome of the strategic planning has been 4 big, audacious goals. Big, audacious goals. These goals are not ones we achieve tomorrow or next week or next month. They are ones we set our sights on for the long term, and we set roadmaps on how to get there. Along those roads, we set milestones for 6 months and a year, and we move ourselves towards these goals. The first one, access, Voyager access. This one is very simple in concept. It's going to take us a lot of work to get there. In simple terms, this means anyone who wants to sail on a semester at sea voyage, regardless of financial means, will sail. Currently, we're able to meet about 30% of the financial aid that's requested. This goal says we need to get to 100%, and that is a massive undertaking. It means we need to set our sights on raising more scholarship money than we've ever raised in the past. So again, this isn't tomorrow or next week or next month. This is a long-term goal by which we set milestones that move us along that path so that one day we wake up and we say, we've done it. Any Voyager, regardless of means, can set sail as a semester at sea Voyager. Number 2, design intentional learning communities. Intentional learning communities. What does this mean? It means that from submission of application throughout someone's alumni experience, they will be involved in the learning journey, what we define around semester at sea, that is based in the mission and that concept of global citizenship. It means when someone is planning their pre-voyage activities, getting ready to go on board the ship, they are already in that phase of inquiry and introspection of what it means to engage across differences. That is the heart of semester at sea. How do we engage across difference? And we move that right onto the voyage so that anyone, regardless of race, ethnicity, sexual orientation, gender, political affiliation, or national identity, is respected and engaged. That is what is semester at sea. Every person has a place on the ship and in our alumni community. And we need to continue to design that full experience from application through alumni experience. That is the idea of intentional learning communities. Number 3, equally audacious, if not more. Achieve net zero in operations. Net zero, for those of you who haven't heard the term, means net zero carbon impact. Net zero carbon impact. This means in our home office and on voyages. We know this is a significant and challenging commitment. It will require thoughtful analysis and tremendously valuable partnership. There are many factors to consider: ship design, propulsion technology, fuel type and availability, and yes, financing. We have to think through a long-term path. We currently have this ship for 7 more years. It is a wonderful ship. It gives us time to think forward about what that next ship will be and how it will help us achieve this really important goal. To be clear, future regulations will require it, and our markets will demand it. Net zero must be part of semester at sea's future. Absolutely. And 4th, global brand recognition. Simple concept again, but audacious nonetheless. The simple concept is this: any college student who is interested in interested in study abroad is at least familiar with semester at sea as an option. That's a big challenge. All of you, as alumni, are our best brand ambassadors. You tell the story better than anybody. You have the most authentic voice. However, you are also the best recruitment tool, and we need to not completely depend on word of mouth. We need to extend our brand so that, again, any college student who's approaching that study abroad thought has somewhere in their head, hey, what is that semester at sea? Maybe I'll go talk to my study abroad officer, a faculty member, or someone about that. We've already made some important steps to achieve this. We have implemented a customer relation management system, a CRM. For those of you who don't work in this area, this means we get to collect more data and really track people and understand who they are. We've advanced significantly our targeted marketing efforts, really understanding who's showing interest and how do we move them into the funnel. We've also made a commitment that by the end of 2022, we will launch a brand new website. Now, for those of you who spent time on our website, I'm sure you love it, but it needs some work. It's not the most robust website, and of course, for what happens in today's world, it needs major improvement. By the end of 2020, we will launch a brand new website. We will get to a point, audaciously, long-term, where we have that global brand recognition so anybody who's considering study abroad will know about Semester C. Big, audacious goals. There's 4 of them. This will require, overall, for us to raise more money than we've ever raised in the past. I understand that. Everyone at the Institute understands that. It's a big task. And we've set the milestones so over the next year, 2 years, 3 years, we will see that we can achieve them over time. We will start to see the progress. Now, before I close, I would like to take a minute and open it up to questions from any of you.
Questions and answers have been edited out because of audio issues.
Well, thank you all very much for taking the time and giving me all the questions. Yeah. Freeport is coming up soon. Hopefully you'll be all here, get your green sheets, and prepare for a launch into Marseille. Thank you so much.